Hello fellow orchid lovers, it's Danielle here with an update on our Transitioning Orchids to Waterculture series. So this section is going to be on the Phalaenopsis, so I'm just going to update you really quickly on how they are doing. So we had 4 in this group, 2 that we freshly transferred and 2 that we were considering our problem children. So we'll start off with the Golden Smile. As you can see, I've taken a few more of her roots off and I have raised the water level. I have found that sometimes, although orchid roots will seem viable, they are in fact failing to hydrate the plant properly. And so sometimes you do have to raise the water levels to make sure that you're giving them enough hydration because those roots that you would typically just put the tips in are not really capable of giving the plant full hydration. So since I've raised the water levels, one of the leaves has started to perk back up. As you can see, it's no longer as droopy as its fellows. She is putting out a new leaf. I wish she would put roots instead. One of her spikes has been removed. The longer of the 2, the flowers are starting to fall, but she is also extending it. So we'll see how this goes. A lot of times when you have an orchid that doesn't have roots and you want to force it to get roots, you know, to change its mindset as far as what it's going to put its energy towards, you can in fact cut the spike and that will refocus its energy on other things such as roots. But I don't typically do that unless I see that the plant is in like major distress. So in this case, I'm just letting her do what she wants to do. She is still hydrating to some extent. Her newer leaves are fine. She is continuing to grow that leaf, and this leaf did perk up. So to me, she does not seem like she is in distress, and so I'm leaving her be. The Secret Smile that we were waiting to bloom has bloomed. Now this color that you're seeing is very, very red. It's so much more burgundy and it looks like velvet. It is a beautiful, beautiful bloom. I really wish that you could see the full, the true color saturation. I'm sorry, it's morning time and my dogs are just following me around everywhere, so you're gonna hear them walking. Her root system is doing very poorly. If you'll remember, she had a really good root system, or what appeared to be a really good root system. And, you know, she was in moss, and a lot of times orchids that are in moss, they get used to that really, really wet environment on their roots, and they don't handle the transition to water culture that well, which seems like that wouldn't be because it's water culture, but water culture doesn't mean drowning your orchid. So in this instance, she is actually getting less water than she would if she was in moss. So she's not really, her roots aren't really handling the transition very well, but her structures are still pretty good. So the roots that are left are still hydrating her sufficiently. She still has that really bad chemical smell. One of my subscribers said that they had an orchid with that really bad smell, and they came up with a concoction that seemed to work to get rid of it. So if you want to look at my last video at the comments, she does give that what she did to get rid of it. And then our problem children. So the Linden Eye, if you'll remember, she's one of my newer orchids. She has a really poor root system. She came to me with a really poor root system. She still has a really poor root system and it's not getting any better. The 2 roots that she had up top that were new, the growing tips have died back. I am raising the water several times a week to just get them, you know, nice and saturated and get her stem saturated. And it seems to be working as far as hydrating her. She doesn't seem dehydrated. The new leaf continues to grow. Her spikes, she did abort a few, she blasted a few of the buds, but 2 of the buds made it. So this one should open soon. And then this one just opened, I think it was yesterday. Really, really cute little blooms. No fragrance that I can detect, but we've had really, really dull days. And typically orchid blooms, they're not as fragrant when it's not sunny. So I don't know if she's supposed to have a fragrance, actually. Maybe one of you would know. But she's cute. I really adore her. And I love the mottled leaves. So she's definitely a good addition to my collection. Now the No ID Mini, she dropped the rest of her flowers. I am, again, doing the same thing where I'm raising the water level several times a week to hydrate these roots that don't quite reach the water. And that does seem, again, to be helping her quite a bit. Her new leaf is very large, much larger than her last leaf. And she has started to push the tip of her spike. Not so vigorously that you would notice it and go, wow, not like the golden smile, but she's definitely pushing something there. So she may decide not to do that, or she may decide to go off one of the nodes. But that's where she is. So as you can see, they're all doing okay. Some of them not as swimmingly as others, but they're growing. So I hope that you enjoy this update. If you have any questions about any of these, or if you're struggling with your transitioning process, just let me know, and I'll try to be as helpful as possible. Otherwise, I will talk to you all next time.